And we're back. Underground World News Live. Here on this October 11th, 2024. What's going on, everybody? Let's get some mic checks. Feedback there in the chat. Noticed OBS kicked out and right back in as we were firing up. Thank you, Quantum. The Judge with us. Kathy. Uncommon, Pixie, E. Fitz, Deanne. Good to see everybody. Thank you, Gio. Kathy. Much love, Steve. I want to thank everyone out there that shares the stream. Appreciate it to the fullest. As I always say, if you need to get anything to me, email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. D. White in the house. Happy birthday to your boy. And much love. And hopefully we can keep flowing pretty good here. I'm not sure if any of you guys are seeing any auroras out there tonight, but the chances are high that you can. I'm going to start off here with some space news, and they say that the big storm is over. If you missed it last night, I mean, there was people everywhere. It seemed like everywhere they could see this, all the way down to Texas, these auroras. We'll look at some of those images in a second. This is from that X flare, those incoming energies that I told you about. They didn't mess with the grid or anything like that, but they put on quite a show. And it's what they call the rare low latitude auroras. See, these things stretched all the way to Mexico. And you could see more tonight, they're saying. All right, certified in the house. Much love. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. An update real quick on this comet. The comet that we were seeing in the early morning hours is now spun around the sun, and now you can see it in the evening. Just about 2.5 degrees above the horizon. Especially if you have binoculars, you can lock onto this thing. Pretty good. But they're saying here in the coming days it's going to get brighter and brighter. And then we've got this mystery comet that popped up out of nowhere. I still haven't seen an official name for it. It's making its way in, and they're saying that it's going to light up very bright here in the second half of this month. So, Red Eye, Jedi, swear I saw you in UFC chat the other night. I tried to holler at you. I don't think you saw it. JT, thank you for the coffee. Much appreciated to the fullest. Let's go on to this next one. You can see what was going on here. Left people speechless. DC, NYC, Boston. People that just don't usually see this. All the way down to Florida. I mean, look at this. Look at the ring. The red line there. Dipping all the way down to right around Tampa. And cutting across halfway through Texas. I mean, most of the country was able to witness this event. If you had clear skies, you could see right here, it hit a G5 solar storm. That's the highest that we've got on the scale. So I told you, these direct hits from X flares, man, they pack a punch. And if it isn't, messing things up, sometimes you get the opposite effect. You get these beautiful shows up in the heavens. I know the folks in the northern latitude see these more often. But I know some people out there were just kind of like, wow, never seen this in their life. I'm seeing this constantly. The messages that I get, people just all saying the same thing. They've never seen anything like it or never witnessed it until now. So, again, signs in the heavens telling me you've been alive all this time and you live in Texas, you ain't never seen this, but now you're seeing it. Look at that shot. Maryland. Thursday night football happening in the sky. Lit up like that. That's amazing. Shout outs to watchers. He caught some above his home, sharing them. I mean, just everywhere, all across the country, from Hell's Kitchen down to Dallas. Naked eye, just lit up. Different colors all across the board. So, depending on where you were at, they were coming in as either pillars of light or just this big glow in the sky. So yeah, and some seeing it lit up like this, like when it really gets dark and they light up, man. Either way, quite a treat. Now, if you're like, dang, I missed it. Well, tonight, they're saying this is your best chance because another wave, so to speak, is going to work its way in. Let me see where the red line is this time. Doesn't come down near as far. Cuts down across the Great Lakes, but that's tonight's forecast. If you're in the upper states, you'll have a better shot at seeing this. Wisconsin, Dakotas, upstate NY. But yeah, that's why I keep track of the solar stuff. And keep it pushing here. Got one connected to the solar storm. We got Club Car warning that geomagnetic storms and their impact can impact smart car operations. So any of these smart cars that are driving around out there, think about this. Teslas, I don't care what it is. Any one of these cars that are driving, even if it's just a golf cart around the golf course, it can go haywire. It's what they're warning about here. And it's all electronics. And when you have a geomagnetic storm coming in, it's kind of like, okay, duh. It can definitely wreak havoc on it. It messes with everything from the satellites to everything ground-based. And it's got that electromagnetic energy in it. So this is why we say to try to EMP-proof things the best you can, because of situations like this. But some things you just can't get around. I mean, how are you going to EMP-proof this golf cart, so to speak? I guess you could if somebody really wanted to, but just saying. If you're having issues with stuff out there that you normally don't, that's what's up. And an update, as I was mentioning the other night on the emergency radio setup, those ER1s, because I had yet to test it. I had some people concerned send me some videos, and I watched some videos about it that said that they were scams, they weren't full ham radios, and then this and that, and then others saying that they wasn't a scam, they just weren't fully programmed. You had to get them, make sure they were fully programmed. But I looked into it further, Jay, and from what I see, it says in big bold letters on it that they get programmed with local frequencies and channels, meaning I can't talk to maybe someone around the world like a ham operator can, but I can talk to people in my state within a couple hours away. And I've seen videos where people were doing just that. So still haven't had a chance to test it. So I'm going to put it to the test here shortly. And when I do, we're going to find out one way or another. If I can reach the top of my state in an emergency test, then we'll give it the go. Then I'll let you know that it works for a certain parameter. Cable's been acting up. Okay, well, if you're getting some glitchiness out there because of some things, it could be because of the geomagnetic storm. So, all right, now here's a plus. I seen this tweet earlier, and I've been telling you, if you're going off-grid, you're trying to survive off-grid and get set up where they can't shut you down, really. A Starlink system is critical. I mean, it's about the price anyone's going to pay for internet anyway. And you can get the mobile version, which is a little bit more, but you can take it with you anywhere and everywhere. In the middle of the jungle, the forest, the most remote regions on the planet. Starlink reaches. Well, if you are a Starlink customer and you're in the regions that were affected by the hurricane, Helene specifically, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, parts of Kentucky, and Florida, those states are getting free Starlink for the rest of the year. So that's a big bonus. Anyone that's in these affected areas, and he tweeted out a map on Twitter, on X. Starlink did, then he did. Basically saying that anyone that is in these areas, they're not going to be charging you for the rest of the year, which is a plus. It's a bit of help. You don't have to they didn't have to give you any. They didn't have to do this. So giving you several months of free service now is huge. Is any other cable provider out there doing that? And again, is any other cable provider out there able to get you service out in the middle of nowhere? Up in the mountains, anything like that? I don't think so. I know so, because I've been through it all. I'm live to you right now via Starlink. So, from the mountains, in a place where you would never hear my voice, if not. So, just saying. Quantum, thank you for the coffees. Much love and respect. 228. Okay, I'll look into that for sure. Okay. Definitely look into the emails. Colleen, thank you as well for the coffees. Turn it down here. And I appreciate that to the fullest. Got another one real quick on Elon. They just pushed out Tesla's robo-taxi. Okay? Now, I'm going to explain some stuff and get esoteric here on you and give you some knowledge if you don't know what's going on here. This is walking us into a new era. They need this great reset still. It has not happened. Let me remind you, it has not happened. The dollar has not been reset, none of that. So a huge event is about to go down. Okay? It's about to. On the other side of this event, those that bow down to the beast globally will be able to indulge in this new world. It's going to have new technologies rolled out that you've only seen in the movies or could have dreamed of. And it's almost going to be a carrot on the stick to entice people out there to go into the system. Because in that system, you can have everything. Is how they're going to paint it, make it look. And they want everybody entrapped within these cities, these smart cities, 15-minute cities, whatever you want to call them. Elon's a major part in all this. Okay? He is, and you've got to see it. Sweet Pea, thank you for the coffees. He's wanting to put Neuralinks into your brain. This is someone that he's at the forefront of this. There's no one any higher on the totem pole out there known trying to put a chip in your brain, plug it right into your skull, other than Elon. Okay? So, let me talk about a couple things here so you know what's going on. This is all symbology, heavy, in front of you. And what you're seeing, it says, we robot. And it's showing you that we are going into this future. And it has 1010. Now, they picked this for a reason. Okay? So what you're looking at is this says Io, which is Io is also another name for the sun in Greek. Okay? And Apollyon the destroyer, Apollo. The father Nephilim. Do you understand? This is the same reason that when you see the British Prime Minister come out of 10 Downing Street, They always show you that. They always show you that door with 10 on it. It's Io. Okay? And do you know what the Roman numeral 410 is? It is X. It is X. Okay? So it could say XX right there in front of you as well. You see? Now, do you know what, in terms of what 1,000 means in Greek? 1,000, how you say 1,000 in Greek is Helios, which again is the name of Zeus's son, the sun god, Apollo. Apollyon the destroyer. Okay? They put in front of you all this stuff all the time. And because people don't have the eyes to see and decipher it and know what it means, they miss it. So they're constantly putting this out there in front of you. And where this is all going. And showing their allegiance to the fallen that are here, that are controlling this whole thing. Every bit of it. That are passing the technology on to them. And these people know it. The big club knows it. So this is why it's always flaunted in front of you. And we'll dive down these rabbit holes more later. But wanted to point that out because I see it. So, I mean, even his site is X, for crying out loud. Io, it all connects back to sun worship. Do you understand? This is why you see Elon looking in the mirror in a Baphomet costume with an upside down cross on his back. Come on. They're all in on this, man. You don't get to be the world's richest man and not be. You understand? But he at least tells us things that others don't, like they're trying to summons the demon. They're honest about it. They're trying to take technology and Frankenstein it and let the jinn come through it. Do you understand? The spirit, the consciousness of the evil, the jinn, to operate through technology. Do you understand? Frankenstein-like. That is what they're doing. And when you can start to create these entities or these bodies, these robots, whatever, and let the jinn hop into it, oh, it's game over. Okay, so you gotta know what you're dealing with here. I'm gonna keep it pushing before I crack your skull open too much. Hurricane Milton. Let's get an update on this. Yes, AI is that. Exactly, my brother. LC King is a troll in the chat, immediately trying to lie and trying to discredit saying Apollo is not related to the sun. That is like, you are full of crap. He is the sun god. He is the god of music and the sun and everything else. You are just blatantly, you're like Kamala, blatantly lying. It don't work here, partner. You get smoked. Just like that. I'll get you before the mods will. Much love, buddy Ross. Get the burner out there on them trolls, son. Alright, so Hurricane Milton tears the roof off the Tampa Bay raised Tropicana field. I'm not so sure how smart it is, and I wouldn't redo this with this type of roof after this. And Lord McCormick checking in from the UK. Thank you, my brother. Yeah, the censorship is severe, brother. But again, thank you. Much love. God bless. You, Crown, Daz, everybody across the pond. It looks like Milton came through and did quite a bit of damage, but it didn't do nothing like with what we seen the first hurricane do. Did do a ton of damage, though, don't get me wrong. You can see the roof ripped off this, and this is where they had supplies, staging supplies, and all this. And I'll just play a quick clip here. You can see it whipping in the wind here, and it was just like having a tarp up the roof here. I definitely would not fix this place the same way. I wouldn't put the same type of roof on. KYUK Connect got that right. Prayers going out to everyone out there caught up in all these storms, because I know people down there still got to hand it to them in Florida. You just ain't hearing about it. You know it. That was a severe storm that came in, and I've seen some of the damage. Let's take a look here. All right. Zoom in here on some of these shots. So you can see it definitely did damage. I will say that the water sitting in this area is a lot different than rushing down mountains. Okay? And that's what gets you. It's what happened here a couple years ago with the rain bombs. And it happened here with the hurricane dropping in Asheville and in Tennessee and all those places. When you've got all this water dumped, it sits all across this region like Florida. It's obviously not mountains. It's the mountains that become the killer. Rolling off all these different things. And, hold on a second. Whenever you see an obvious troll, man, smoke them up. Anyone trying to deflect from the truth on something, got to raise a question. Anyway, keep it pushing here. Play some video so you guys can see what's happening in Florida. A lot of big boats tossed about. Things like that. Could have been way worse, though. Like this boat looks like it was carried there and sat there, and then the water receded, versus being torn to pieces and just a pile of rubble and sticks. Right? There's a difference. There's a difference between the ferocity of the storm, the ferociousness of it. All right, Anderson Cooper gets hit in the face with debris. I want to play this quick clip. You're going to have to watch. I'm just going to play it real quick. It's about to happen. As soon as I hit play, someone, thank you for those coffees. Appreciated to the fullest. And here we go.
If you look at the granite food, okay, granite food. If you look at the granite food, moreover, if you look at the granite food.
So he gets popped right in the face. Thank you, sweet Polly. Exactly, Jay. He got popped in the face. I just thought that was funny. When it comes to Anderson Cooper, one of the biggest government establishment shills you will ever see. He's still out there doing his thing. All right, in these twin hurricanes, man, they send Generac portable generator supplies to critically low levels. I hope you got one. You're not out there trying to get one right now and having difficulty. It's something you want to definitely have in your arsenal is a good generator. I'm telling you. Much love and all good, McCormick. Pixie. To have a generator, I mean, is just key. I mean, I hope you got one. Like, for instance, what you can do, especially if you go off-grid, and some people out there are like, what happens if, like, you don't have enough sun? You don't have this or that? Well, you can charge all your stuff with a generator. Well, you got some gas on hand, and, you know, generators can run off gasoline or off of propane, things like that. So you can just have a propane generator out there, fire it up, and it will charge your batteries on cloudy days, for instance, or power your home or anything else. It's just good to have a backup, man. I don't know what I would have done throughout many different scenarios without it. But I see these titles, and I think to myself, okay, there's a run on these. We're entering a window, especially if we go to war with China or something crazy pops off at any moment, where getting supplies into this country could be difficult. We just seen the port strikes and all that. I just dropped the story the other day about how all of our major ports have cranes in them from China, like 80% of them, that have built-in modems that are not supposed to be there. Like, what if they just flip a switch and start making them go haywire? Or any other thing, like Houthis downing container ships. What if all this stops you from getting supplies? Is what I'm saying. What if it's going to be hard from here to get supplies? I feel it's going to be. These things could be harder to get from here. That's all I'm saying. They're at critically low levels. Windmills also, as Kepler says. Yeah, it's a package. You can make a package and get off grid if you really wanted to. ALB, thank you for the coffee and the support. Appreciate it to the fullest. If you want to get off this grid, even if you're a single, well, it'd be easier if you're a single person, actually, because you can get a smaller package grid. And obviously, everything's cheaper. You make up more mouths to feed and all that. You don't consume as much power and electric and all this other stuff, obviously. Yeah. One person that needs one room to live in versus a family with everyone needing a room and all that just quadruples everything. Power needs quadruples the power needs. But a single person out there, if you plan per head, you can get a setup out there for like $10,000 or so if you really wanted. 15,000, decent setup, and be good to go with power. Off grid, away from the beast, and all that. If you've got a family, you're going full blown, you're talking about me 25 grand. 25 grand, it gets you running pretty much the whole house for everybody, minus a couple things. You have to put a couple things on gas, which is smart, like maybe your dryer, your stove, your oven, the things that would suck down the battery life of your batteries, you know, just put them on gas. And then the rest of everything else flows good. I'm telling you. Break away from the system. If you want to think about the future and where this is going, people like, this isn't like the old days. Thinking about retirement and this and that. You can't even have a 401k these days. Like, we're going into a different, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but when the stocks dump and your 401k goes with it, man, I told you a million times, I don't want to hear it then. That's the plan, that's the move. I hope everybody's just making moves, man. That's all I can hope for. It's kind of hard to do when they're throwing hurricanes at you, right? Come spring, it'll be tornadoes. Throughout the summer or any time, it could be flooding out of nowhere like they did to us. But look at this. If you've got an electric car, I've told you, and I'm not just trying to dog on electric cars. Just giving you facts on them. The electric vehicles, in my book, kind of just suck. They they don't stack up to a gas vehicle at all. If you want to do something that saves you economically, get a hybrid. Those hybrids type deals, you don't ever have to plug them in like this. You drive them, and while you're driving on the gas, it charges. It charges via the sun, all this other stuff. I've heard everyone that's got a hybrid say nothing but good things, because you can still go across the country. It's off gas like normal, but then it goes into running off the battery mode and all this other stuff when you're just cruising, and it recharges itself as you're driving. So instead of ramming something down your throat that you don't like, trying to force the whole freaking populace to take it, and everyone's rejecting it, it should just be an option on the side. And if they had a brain and promoted it the right way, I'm telling you, if they just push the commercials on the hybrid and all this other stuff, they would really go, I think, because it's really a decent thing, depending on the maker and all this other stuff. But the technology-wise, they have to plug and charge somewhere for like 8 hours or something crazy. You can't plan a trip or do business like that at all. What are you going to do in an emergency? What are you going to do in an emergency? And you got to get out of town. Oh, I got to go charge a Tesla for 5 hours before we hit the road. I don't think so. I don't think so. Nobody stop, think about this? Dumbest thing in the world these things are. Anyhow, if you're in Florida or anywhere near salt water with one of these things, let it be known, they can catch fire and they can blow up, become one big bomb, if they are inundated by floodwater. So, a ton of cars just got inundated by floodwater. So, you get to see explosions at any moment if these EVs get caught up in it. It's not saying it's going to definitely happen, but they're saying that, saltwater, lithium. And much love, Jenna. Thank you for the information. Just a heads up. All right, this is an amazing story. Coast Guard rescues a man floating on a cooler 30 miles off the coast of Florida. Hallelujah. Miracles do happen. Imagine this is you. Imagine this is you floating out in them waters, baked by the sun, parched, 30 miles away. Can't even see the coastline. You probably think for sure a dead man. They seen him. They spotted him. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Swooped in, rescued this guy. I'm going to play a little bit of the footage here. Just amazing. I don't know any details about anyone else, but they saved this guy. Man, that ocean is a monster, man. I've got another one for you here. This is out of Texas. This went down last night, and it really didn't break large scale till this morning. Go figure. After everything is said and done, the damage is done, so to speak. We got 2 dead, dozens injured, 35 injured, after a chemical leak at this hydrogen sulfide Pemex facility, the Deer Park Oil Refinery in Texas. So this is about 18 miles east of Houston. And they say they came out to a report of a gas leak, hydrogen sulfide, which is a colorless gas with a strong odor, at about 5:30 yesterday. This was a hazmat issue initially. The reports of 1 death and maybe some injuries, it turns into 2 people dead. both maintenance workers that were there, and then all these other people injured. And they had a shelter in place for the towns right around it, but it really didn't get out of those two towns. Not much was said, not till this morning. They lifted this, meaning that they shut off wherever the leak was coming from. But how it happened and all that's still under investigation. And just crazy, man. All right. I've been telling you guys and warning you about any day now. Some big information is going to bleed out into the American banking sector. And it pertains to money laundering. And it pertains to China, fentanyl, and a huge thing that I feel could do a lot of damage. If they come out and they announce other major banks, their stocks are going to tank. I told you, TD Bank was busted, and they were busted in Toronto, okay, across the border in Canada. But now they're labeling it as it being one of America's major banks. The wording itself is trickery. Right in front of, I've been telling you and reporting on this for months. How Soros is tied in, how Buffett and everything is tied in, all the rich cats, and how Buffett's dumping of his stocks signaled there may be some big announcement coming, something that's going to happen with the markets. That's why he's dumping. And as soon as which he should be right about there, that get across that 10% threshold, he doesn't have to report like he is until way later, which means he could dump, which you expect that's what they're going to do. There's a reason he's doing this. And we were wondering, why would he all of a sudden want to be doing that? And then you hear the stories that the biggest banks in America could be tied up in this. If that cat gets out the bag, the day that happens, the morning that happens, it's over. These insider guys definitely know this. They know in advance these things. So TD gets busted, and it was out of Canada. It was Toronto. Now the very first words say one of America's major banks. It's all of a sudden an American thing now, which is like a huge warning to me. You better be paying attention, because they just like let it out of the bag now. Now it's an American bank, which means other American banks can be touched at any freaking moment. So TD Bank has gone through this, and now they're going to pay $1.89 billion to who? To the government, to the DOJ. Okay, $123 million to the Federal Reserve Board, and $450 million to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, because they were caught laundering this money through their network. Okay. The bank must also pay $757 million to the Department of Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement, FinCEN. The penalty is a record, according to CNN, as it says right here. And Joe knows, thank you for the coffees. It says that this is the biggest ever. So this is like the biggest bust on a bank and penalty in history. Ever. I mean, what else can you add to that? It's the biggest ever. Like, dude, if you throw another bank's name out there, they're done. They're smoked chicken. They're done. Gone. See you. Done. Also, what they're saying here is in this investigation, they find out that some of the higher-ups involved in this were turning a cheek to more than 90% of the accounts that were in there, saying that they were not monitored for anything like this. Which is crazy. This is a massive orchestration. So I'm telling you again, anytime they could say it's Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, any of them. The minute, dude, this stuff's going to get out of the bag, as it always is, like 3 or 4 in the morning when everyone's sleeping. The very first ones up that morning, you're going to hear about it by the time most people get up, and get to moving around. Everything's going to be dumping. People are going to be geeking out And you can't do nothing because they will put a freeze on it, a stop, like they do in the markets. Soon as everything starts to dump too bad. Problem is it will keep dumping because the rich dudes behind the scene always get to do this. Always. They never get drug into court. They never get nothing. I mean, I've told you all the criminal things people like George Soros and Bill Gates and others have done. You could have them in court right now, and we've got a ton of crime to put on them, and we could burn them on it. But you can't even get them there. You can't find no one out here that took an oath to serve and protect anyone that wants to go catch a criminal, that wants to take it on, try to go get them. You know, Bill Gates, for instance, he's on camera putting jab fluid down the throats of kids over in Africa, and he's not even a doctor. He's not licensed to do it. That right there is a criminal charge. Understand? They do these things so brazenly and openly. The crime's on camera and known. You know, and they get away with it. I'm telling you, we got them if you could just get them into the courtroom with a righteous judge, and that's it. That's it. So I just wanted to point, these guys, I say that, are going to be responsible for what's about to happen. When the biggest criminals out there are trying to find a way to take everyone's money, how do you do it? Where is most of the money at? Well, let's go over and talk to Jamie Dimon. He looks in everyone's accounts and says everyone's broke. They don't have much money in their bank accounts right now because of the economy and everything. Look at their savings. Their savings are starting to take the hit of depletion. But that's where the biggest chunk of money's at. Sitting out there is in people's savings. Wrapped up in stocks and everything else. So, if you're thinking criminal like them, you're thinking, well, that's where it's all at. That's what we want. We want that. How do we get that? Well, you first off sucker everybody into tying all their money into the stocks. And then you just do a rug pull. Pretty simple. It'll be a massive event to bring everything down. There you go. That's it. That's it. These guys seeded in to the biggest place things out there. Got the most shares, got all this money, they're just going to dump. And I can almost guarantee you that Buffett is not the only one. He's just the biggest name out there catching the attention of dumping stocks. I guarantee you that everybody around him, anyone in his circles, anyone paying attention that sees it is doing the same. So, anyhow, saying we're never going to get out of the cycle until some of these criminals actually go to jail. Seriously. Yeah, they're just going to continue killing everybody. If you're down with that, I'm not. I'm down with these people continuing this. I mean, that makes you complicit in my book. When you know that they're doing this and you're doing nothing to stop it, makes you complicit. In the eyes of the Lord, the Most High. That's right. Everybody sitting on that ass not doing nothing. You got to fight that good fight. And a salute to everybody that does. We're in crazy time. We're inflation so bad that the Make 'em Millions lottery tickets are now going to cost 150% more in 2025. So even if Trump does win, this is what he inherits. This is what he walks into. A house of cards, it seems like it's just going to come down. But, yeah, that's right. Your $2, it used to be $1, man. I remember back in the day when life was so simple. They could have, you shared something earlier, like what you could get for $1 back in the 90s. Anyhow, the $2 Mega Millions ticket is going to jump to $5 in April of 2025. So just, there you go. And Steve, salutes, my brother. That's all you can do is try your best. And I see it in you. I see it in you, and I thank you. And all the rest of you that do the same. We don't have all the weaponry and money and millions and all to do all these things. I pray to God that we do, that someone would be gifted with righteous people. Because last time I asked about this in life, I said, God, send us a millionaire to help fight this fight. He sent one to me, all right. But he's a dirty dog devil. Let me tell you. And the kind people you just don't want to be around, you can't be around. That are just demons in the flesh that are all materialistic. We need someone righteous. If God could just deliver. Because if it gets into the hands of someone righteous, then we don't have to worry about nothing. Just start off there. If it's in the hands of the righteous fighting the good fight, well, it doesn't matter. Then they can distribute it where it needs to go across the board. There isn't any scandal. There's nothing to worry about. And you got righteous people doing righteous things. You understand? It's all this evil crap. But is it even possible? There's not even a righteous one in the top 10 of all the richest people out there. Top 20. 100,000. I mean, name one. Name one of them out there, large scale, battling against these goons. It's all puppet show. The way I see it, they're trying to put Elon in the Trump corner, make them look like the righteous ones and all this. Versus, Soros and Gates and the minions on the other side. Are any of them actually doing anything to help the starving? Huh? To combat the drug stuff, huh? Anything at the border and all the migrants, huh? Like, they could be doing something, like Trump, even himself, even if he's not president, he could still be doing something. He just quit doing anything, try to work on any project to fix it when he wasn't president, which is crazy. It's like if you truly believe in helping and fix this place and you've got the arsenal and the money and the means, and you do it 24/7, the entire time you're breathing. But this is politics when we get into that. I'm not even there yet. Getting there. Almost there. We get through a little bit of this. I got to throw in an update on the gold, always. The gold bull cycle has just begun. It's nothing new. I've been telling you this, man. It's been on. Remember, if you would have got in when we said you'd be doing real good right now, and I'll say at any time with gold is a good entry. A pullback is what you want to enter on. Never a tip. Just wait for it happens. There'll be another little pullback. Silver's where it's at, though. I'm telling you. Silver's not broke a record yet. In gold, when it finally stops its run, silver's just going to pop like a top, and it's just like rockets. Silver's going to charge. Do something stupid. I'm telling you. I've told you. I've given you your outs, man. You were looking for ways out. I give you the ways out. Okay? If you'd invested in gold and silver this whole time and held it to even currently, now you don't even have to pay taxes on it. What kind of... You're never going to get another blessing like that. Do you understand me? You're never going to get another blessing like that. You don't have to pay the beast a toll or a tax on something? Are you kidding me? But gold and silver, I'm telling you, I told you, man. It just explodes from here. Whatever you're holding, you have to pay no tax on. Well, at least in my state. I don't know about your state. Most states have gone this direction. It's absolutely huge. It's a blessing. You got to get them where they're at, man, or you just ain't going to get them. Get stuck holding the bag. And I'm going to tell you right now, I just told you, gold, silver, all those precious metals, ammunition, all of it. I'm telling you, looking for a come up, everybody's sitting there trying, where should I put this in my stocks and this and that? No, man. If you just stuck it in gold and silver and just stuck with that plan and just been buying that the whole time instead of putting it in the stocks, oh my gosh, if you'd have been buying this whole time since 2017, you'd be like set up to be living like a king. Because that's where it's going to go. When gold jumps and runs 20,000, which if you plan to be living and breathing up to 2030, it's going to do it. It's in my belief it's going to do it. Easy. But one of the big things that's going to shoot it that way is the downfall of our country, our economy, and our dollar. So be prepared. It's a huge give and take. Yeah, all right. So you might want to get into your own food, getting your own food going. It is my number one priority. I'm going to just go all out, everything I can, come from here on out. Let's put it that way. Yes, we're going into winter. So I'm going to target spring in this whole next season as being a major one. And sharing it with you guys along the way. That way, I don't know, some out there just when they actually see things happening, they get more motivated to do something. When I see articles like this says a company recalls 10 million pounds of ready-to-eat meat and poultry over listeria risks. This isn't new. We had other places recalling here recently. One was like 7 million pounds. Was it Tyson? Who was it? There's been several. They've been citing listeria and these other illnesses in destroying all the meat, okay, and getting it out of here. And I've warned you, we know we're under attack. We know this. So you've got to be smart from here. You've got to start paying attention to these things. Okay, so this, and let me just throw a warning out here real quick also. McDonald's CEO is warning that 2025 is going to be another challenging year because of the finances crushing everyone. So, whatever he knows and foresees, that's what he's saying. Now check this out. This I had a few things lined up here on the back end if I had time to get to them, but I think right now is a good time to speak on it. Yes, Jesus, Yeshua, is coming. The Most High. Yes, he's coming with them scales. Whatever anyone wants to call it by name out there, the different religions and languages, the Godhead, the Most High, the Messiah, I feel is coming. It's harvest time. It means he comes to separate the wheat from the tare. And I can't wait like a thief in the night. Now, in terms of getting spiritual, fasting is key. Okay? It just is. Let thy food be thy medicine in what you eat. But there's something to it. The body is designed a certain way that when you go into this fasting process, it does things that it doesn't do when you don't do it. And when you look in your Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth, someone was trying to tell you these things on how the body operates. And that if you consume certain foods a certain way, it will operate a certain way. And if you want to fine-tune this machine to the best of its ability, then you listen to what they said. Or not. Or ignore it. And do as thou wilt. And sin and be like Aleister Crowley. And ignore it. Because you like your whatever. Your gluttony. And you just like to ignore, I guess, what a higher intelligence is trying to tell you to do. If you fast, what this does is, well, it helps to raise the chrism. First and foremost, which if you know nothing about that, you've been slipping and sleeping and you're never going to get out of here. If you don't figure out that you need to be living a certain way, that something higher is watching you. And designed this whole thing to give you free will to choose. And in my opinion, it's only going to take the best. I mean, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? I mean, come on. It's pretty basic there to me. But when you fine-tune your antenna, which is what you are, connected to your pineal, the seat of the soul, your mind's eye, which even has its own lens, which they work hard to calcify and kill for this reason. They don't want you spiritually connected. But there's a reason they asked you to do this. Because it opens the mind's eye. It starts a process in the body of that oil of gladness. okay? Which is hidden sacred knowledge of the sacred knowledge. And see, when you are consuming low energy items, like swine, like pig, you can't vibrate high. You see? And also, you're attaching to yourself low energy stuff. You were warned about all this. Not to eat bottom feeders like catfish and things like that. Bottom suckers, things like that. We were told, man. Deuteronomy states it specifically in fine detail. Okay? Got that right, certified. And much love. Thank you. I'm trying to get you right here. If you want to heal your body and you want to reset your body and let your body start to kill off these things, eliminate all sugars from your diet. Again, let thy food be thy medicine of what you do eat and be selective. And then fast from there. Let your body hit a reset mode. The title of this whole thing is telling you, I've been telling you this forever, but it says it right here. Fasting activates cell repair within your body. Regeneration. It reverses disease. Do you see that the higher creator embedded a process with us that you just have to unlock? You just have to obey and listen. Don't you want this knowledge or not? Huh? Bacon was a huge temptation on me. And I seen it as a major challenge when it crossed my plate. Because I gave up smoking in 2017 now. It's been all these years. I gave up a lot of things, all the way, Mountain Dews, Pops, all these things. Energy drinks, to start tossing them, overcoming them, controlling them. Because that's what he wanted me to do. Not have them control me. So I eliminated everything. And I mean everything. Things I won't even speak. Everything out of my life of negativity that I could. But that bacon, that pork, and you know it, it's bacon. It just, the smell of bacon, it smells so good, right? And you want to eat it, and whether it's ham or whatever it is, it just kept telling me, Dad, can you do it? Can you do it? And like do it while smelling it, like being around all the time and like overcome it, like challenging me. I'm like, all right. And I'd open my Bible, which I often do. I'll just randomly open it and see where it opens, and I'll start reading. And he would take me there, right to the passage where I need to be, and would tell me, and I'll start reading it and tell me everything. It's just how it works with me, how it works. So, this makes me, and I'm going to move on from here. This makes me think of when I see this meat, okay? A passage. And this is out of Revelation. Okay? And remember this. Certified, man. Again, much love. Dub J in the house. Much love. Good to see everybody tonight. Top of the hour. Much love. God bless to everybody out there. I got one for you, though. Right here. Revelation 2:14. Okay? It says, nevertheless, I have a few things against you. There are some among you who hold to the teachings of Balaam, who taught Balak to entice the Israelites to sin, so that they ate food sacrificed to idols and committed sexual immorality. Now you're listening. I hope so. I'll lock one for you here. They ate food sacrificed to idols. How do none of us not know? Do you know where the meat you eat comes from? Do you? How do you not know that every animal that they are serving us out there is not sacrificed to idols? How do you not know? You don't. And I believe this is what they're doing. They're slicing these, killing these animals, whether it's the poultry, whether it's the cows at these slaughterhouses, whatever it is. And look, I know someone that worked on the inside at these places. I know someone that did this for years, and like it changed them over to a full-blown, like different person that told me the horrors and everything connected in with this. And the evil energy connected with it. And I was like, it's all coming full circle to me now. I feel like these evil fools, your McDonald's food, whatever it is, everything that is slaughtered and sacrificed. Why would they not? Why would these evil fools not? Why would they miss the opportunity to do it? They wouldn't. Then they are feeding the masses food sacrificed to the idols. Hallelujah, Lord God. Bring them down. Destroy them. Unfortunately, it seems this whole place can get laid to waste. As he comes in and smokes them all. Thief of the night. This is screaming at me. This is screaming at me to get through to you this year, to someone out there. Your soul needs this. You need to understand this. Think long and hard about this, everything I've told you about this, and change your ways. Your time is short. It's about to run out. Better get it right. Shape up before you ship out, or you ain't shipping out at all. You can check out, but you can never leave. Just like Hotel California. Only one way out. You better be concerned about the second death, and that's the death of the soul. Not this vessel, this body. Yeah. All right, let's keep it pushing. Got an update on the Black Hawk that swooped down and did a rotor wash above our good people down in North Carolina. This was in Burnsville. I shared footage of this on the backup channel, Surviving in Times. The Black Hawk came down, swooped in, destroyed all the goods, and basically had stuff flying around everywhere. They found out who it is. It belonged to the North Carolina National Guard. A UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter. They tried to say the safe base that they were delivering generators at the request of a local civilian organization. But still, there was no generators hanging from the bottom of this thing. That has nothing to do with why they stopped there and dropped low and did a rotor wash and did what they did. But they did go on to state that those behind the rotor wash will not be flying until cleared by the National Guard officials. That this incident is currently under investigation. The crew has been grounded until the investigation is complete. So that's a win, a plus there. At least that they got him. I mean that was kind of, it was just childish, man, and put people in danger, and to do it above all those goods going to people that need it out there. That chopper should have been out there searching for people that needed it. They're dying on the rooftops, and all this other stuff pisses me off. Nah. Only the private guys would get out there and do that, right? And they tried to stop them from doing that. Still have been trying to hamper. It's devastation down there. All right, I just want to show you Aurora in Colorado has Trump show up and do this rally. I just want to play this clip here and show you just how many people show up at these events if you ain't seen. Insane. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. On and on. And on and on. It just... You come down, you wrap around the place, and it still just goes on. And on. And on. And on. I mean, that's how these events are. These are voters. You know, it's got like 5 more parking lots back here. It just keeps going. Like, it's no joke. It goes all the way down, like there's buildings way in the back. It's nuts. These are your fellow American citizens that are coming out to vote. Now, when you look at Kamala and them, they're literally having to bus people in from other places and pay for all this stuff. These people are not being bussed in, nothing like that. These are just everyday people that drove there on their own time to come and show the support. This is where the gravity of all this is. They're behind Trump majority. From what I see, it's like 75% plus. Easy. I would say it's 85% plus. But let's give it a little cushion there. I give it 80%. 80%. I'll go back to 75. I'll go back to 75, and I'll give Kamala and Joe like 10%. They do got some stooges out there, but then the rest of it is like the rest of us here that like ain't falling for none of it. Like we're woke to this whole thing, and like we're beyond it. We're like on a different level, looking down upon this. Like, yes, going into the way of Trump is the better way to go, but when you have the eyes to see and know that it's both controlled by the same hand, it's not going to stop the events coming in the future that are coming. They're going to come one way or another that they have planned. Just like towers were going to drop no matter who was on the clock as the president at the time. Anyway, I'm telling you, I feel our American people want Trump to be president. And that's just how it is. Okay? What that means, where that takes it, and all this other stuff. Look at this. I'm telling you, man, we are in a window of craziness, ain't we, guys? And God bless all you guys out there. Every one of you that need it. Anyone that needs some healing, some love, some saving. Call upon that Most High, for real. Yeshua, in heaven. That Most High. You got to believe. It's part of it. If you don't believe, it don't work. You understand me? Even the dark side will tell you that. Even the dark side, in their evil witchcraft and everything else, they would tell you, well, if you don't believe in it, it won't work. Well, yeah. There's a yin to the yang, you understand? You must understand that too. You live in a duality here. Okay? And that's why things are the way they are. You're given that choice of free will to choose from good or bad. So bad has to be present. You haven't proven yourself worthy enough to make it into an echelon, say heaven, a life in a body where you don't have to deal with all this. That's what you're fighting. And to me, that's what we're fighting to prove right now. So again, I'd be putting in that work, fighting the good fight. But look at this. Citing concerns about drone and missile attacks. The Trump campaign asked the Biden administration for presidential level protection in the final weeks of the campaign, including military aircraft, citing that Iran is trying to assassinate him. That Iran is trying to, I told you where they were taking this. I told you. They don't stop with it. Trump gets in there. He wasn't about any wars, but I tell you what, they're making sure he's going to be about one war. They're making that clear. When it comes to protecting Israel and going to war with Iran, it's going to happen. On Trump's watch, there ain't no doubt about it. Okay? This will be the one waged. And the priming you for it. All the Trumpers for it. Letting it all be known. They've even gone as far as to try to track back some of these, the shooters or whatever, back to Iran as well. Trying hard with the crap, okay? Now, another thing that is crazy. He asked them for extra security, right? Like, we're coming up on, like, the window. Like, he is going to need it. He's now giving speeches like when they brought him and Elon out. Guess where they were behind? They were behind tall, bulletproof glass things. It never used to be like this. You understand? It was never like this. Barack Obama had to hide behind one. All these other cats, but he didn't. I went and seen Trump multiple times. I was within like feet of Trump. There was nothing protecting him. There was no glass when he was on stage, no nothing. You know, I was at his inauguration. I mean, this is it's crazy what they're pushing. They're pushing, obviously, they wanted to take him out. The 2 attempts and all this. Now they got him behind glass. He's asking for better security, and guess what he gets in response? The White House says, much love, T-Rex. They said, no, we're not going to give you none. We're not going to give you any extra. And matter of fact, not only are we not going to give you any, you got to stop golfing for the rest of this, all this. Like, we're going to stop protecting you on the golf courses. So this isn't, if he wins election, then you could argue, yeah, he'll get it back. But if he doesn't, and they give us Kamala, he will never have Secret Service protection ever again from this day forward in his life on a golf course, which is insane. Knowing that the last attempt on him, allegedly out here on the stage, was from a golf course. Dude, this is shenanigans. It's like a soap opera, isn't it? It's like, it's nuts. But yet, this is real life. Real life. That's it. So to speak. It's all scripted and written, right? Yeah. It's facts on all that. So, I gotta say, I love it when I see these demons squirm. This is why I'm gonna start doing exorcisms in the real life, for real. If I can. I mean, I'm going to. If you guys don't know, I am an ordained minister. So, I'm gonna start polishing up on things, and I'm literally gonna do this literally. I'm gonna take it to these demons. And you'll see. It's just what I meant to do on all levels. And we're going to fight fire with fire. Anyhow, I'm going to play this clip because I love watching the demons squirm. I love seeing them get so ticked off. So, Micah Brzezinski, and I can't stand her or any of these media goons, but she loses her mind just like Whoopi did. When Trump started firing her, he just lose it.
I had thought that Trump's debate performance would disqualify him. Then in the end, looking at the two candidates side by side, which the American people have been waiting weeks and months to see, that just as Biden's performance cost him the nomination, that Trump's performance would cost him the election. And I've had to walk that back a little bit because I think the race is dead even. I don't follow the national numbers at all. It's the 7 states, and in every one of those 7 states, it's within the margin of error. In fact, it's half the margin of error. So there's no way to call it right now, which is why these 4%, and that's it, these 4% races are impossible to predict. Now, they could all go for Harris, they could all go for Trump, but I'm questioning whether these undecided voters are even going to participate. I know you're going to play some sound.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, we are on a pin's edge right now, and the essential key point of this is that who they vote for is the next president of the United States.
So, Frank, let's listen to what some of the focus group participants had to say about why they are still undecided.
Raise your hand if you are undecided.
Participating, absolutely no bad things to say about people who participate in these conversations. We thank you so much. But does anybody at this table need to take a deep breath? Because I do. I just do.
We've been listening to undecideds for weeks on 2A, and it's really hard to believe that there are still people who might vote third party or try to write in. It's just such a lack of understanding about the stakes and about why that's just throwing your vote away.
Oh, my God.
I just have to say, I mean, I'm just trying to find that grace
Find the
in
grace.
this moment, but
All right, I tried. I can't do it. I can't watch these fools. I tried. I can't even get through it to show you this whole thing. It just, I can't stand them. I have such disdain for the lies and the deception, and that we got to sit here and you can't stop it. So the only way you can, since we all have freedom of speech, is you got to counter it. Doing what I do here. And, the mainstream media is ran by the establishment as far as I can tell. All of it. It's all manufactured to send down the left or the right side. One of the two. I got to play this clip here on Biden basically threatening all the people out there telling the truth. We're out there saying that you're not getting supplies to our people down in the Carolinas. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Well, he basically is threatening people.
I think those who have been spreading these lies to try to undermine the opposition are going to pay a price for it.
So it's a veiled threat right there. Someone's going to pay a price. Just wanted to throw it out there. He don't have many days left here, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to full court press do everything they can to promote Kamala, but it's a disaster everywhere they turn. They used to be able to pull all the. They bring Obama out and have Obama start stumping for Kamala. As the OBS disconnects and reconnects. I'm just going to play this clip because he's kind of sitting there when he's talking to this crowd. And it's like they don't want to be there. They don't want to be listening to him. And it's like he don't even want to be there, it seems like. He's just thinking of things to try to say to him. And this is a small clip. The longer clip, he starts ridiculing them and shaming them, saying it's their duty. They've got to support her as black men. They've got to support her and all this other stuff.
Is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you.
Went to college with you. All right, I'm going to stop it there. Obama and Kamala are the same in a lot of the ways. They both, wherever they go, they switch up their accents. They're chameleon. He'll start talking country or he'll start talking hood if he's in there wanting to talk to the brothers and try to deceive them in there like he's trying to do. Kamala's the same way. We've seen her go in there and change her accent up a ton of times. They come from the same camp, so it's not too surprising. But they got Obama out here stumping for him. And he's trying to say that you guys are not coming out like you did when I ran. He just flat out said it in the beginning. So they know why he's there. But the whole place is quiet. It's just eerily. I feel like no one's digging it. But it shows where they're at. It shows me like a level of desperation that I kind of like. Because it's not working. Their magic trick isn't working in this aspect anymore. For the Dems, anyway, for that side, it's just totally falling apart. Yeah, you know the accent is fake. He's fake. Fake as it comes. Okay, so if you don't know, they're saying that the Republicans are likely to flip the Senate. Okay? Now, we got to watch this in the House of Representatives. If the House of Representatives gets taken by the Democrats, you better watch out because some trickery can happen. Major trickery. If they take control of that. I already told you how everything was set up, how Kamala being the vice president, it's crazy. She certifies the election results and everything in the handover. Okay, how does she do that to herself? How does she do that to herself? Remember, Pence did it. People were yelling at him last night, like, don't do it, it was fraudulent. But he went ahead and did it anyway. And everyone was like, oh, you're a Judas. You know, and all this stuff. It's what happened then. Because Pence was the vice. She's the vice. She plays that role now. So she's going to certify what, Trump winning? Do you see her doing that? Do you really see her doing that? Especially if they label him an insurrectionist or a criminal or and all this court stuff that's not over. Like, I'm telling you, that's a major thing right there. I just don't see that happening. I don't see her certifying the thing for Trump, but it's going to be an amazing thing. Spiro checking in. Much love, my brother. So, to the next one. Volunteers alleging that Kamala and her whole camp ordered the North Carolina National Guard to load all the supplies onto a plane, take a photo up, and never were intent on sending them out. We're ready to rush them because these guys were thinking, we're going to have to get rushed out from here. Let's play this little clip.
And then also from that video, I started getting a lot of messages like to my Instagram from like actual like aircraft commanders, like squadron commanders.
No kidding.
I had a squadron commander from North Carolina reach out to me. They had to load a C-17 full of supplies just to take a photo op for Kamala. And they never sent the bird.
Wait a minute, what?
They loaded an entire C-17 full of supplies for the hurricane victims just for Kamala to go there, take a photo, take a video, and they never sent the C-17. It was just
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was a National Guard, North Carolina National Guard unit. That was a 06 that reached out to me. And then I had another...
He reached out to you to tell you that they did a photo op and with the intention of never sending.
It was just a photo op.
There you go. It is a disgrace. Flynn, it's sickening. We are watching the destruction and the downfall of our country in real time. They're attacking us from all angles. Have you not woke up and realized that you live under a totalitarian regime, that it's all a lie, fabricated and packaged to make it look like it's some kind of democracy is what they call it. We're supposed to be this republic, but this place is just, it's gone. It's gone. They're bringing it down. They locked everybody down. They dared you to do anything, told you to strap a mask up. Did all these things. Man, we're going on 5 years later. Man, Soul Fetcher, thank you for the coffee. Man, this is, end the comment. This is such a fraud. Such a fraud. You have to sit there and watch it continue in motion, like the whole Kamala, everything, anywhere. Just fraudulent. And you can see it in everything she does. Word salad. Yeah, just saying things and throwing it together is what she's good at. She's not, Biden would gaff a lot of things. She doesn't do the things he does per se, but she is just a dingbat and always reverts back to the same stuff. Talks in circles and has this stupid little catchphrase, which is from the establishment about burden, unburden, fucking whatever. I'm telling you now, I've always felt, though, that, the establishment feels like the people will not bark back. They're testing to see what it's going to take to make you bark back or buck back. And when they gave you Biden, it was the ultimate, get ready, guys. We're going to take this thing. Actually call in the National Guard, surround the White House with fencing. The whole nine. Get ready. Nothing happened. So they had to have a staged event. Something for them to point at, right? Something. Like a J6. To point at, to say, hey, criminals, all this other stuff, insurrectionists, or whatever, all these bad guys, enemies of the country. They tried to paint that picture. You see? They paint that picture. Gosh, man. So, to me, they wanted you to hate Biden. They dared you to revolt. No one did. They wanted you to hate him, which everyone did. Let's go, Brandon. FJB. Without a doubt, it's a gaffe machine. Everybody dislikes him. They got that, right? What if they want you to hate somebody even more? It's hard to imagine after serving you a Biden. But Kamala, man. Gwendolyn, thank you for the coffees. Under Kamala, it would be like she doesn't care. She's ruthless. They're like, bend over, do this, do that. She's like, whatever, she'll do it. She's not old and falling apart. Let's just put it that way. Like Biden. That guy is he can barely even speak a word. He can barely say anything. She's at least younger and fresher in this and that, in that sense. To them, I think that, I told you before, when we found out they had all that money they could only spend if Kamala was running, I knew right then that she was going to be the one. And for all of you that were here, you knew it too that night. We figured it out. There was like 90 some million that was going to go untapped because it was in either Biden's name or her name. And if she ran, they could tap into it per the law. But if not, it was gone, lost. I was like, no way they were leaving that on the table. That was a sure sign that she was going to be the one. That was back when everyone was still in it. Ramaswamy and everyone else, no one had a clue. Really. So, we know now, right? Russia announces that they have evidence that the United States and the UK were behind the Nord Stream pipeline bombings. And it's kind of like, okay, who's your foe? Who's the nemesis on the world stage? It took you this long to figure that out. Well, maybe they figured it out like we did right out the gate. But I guess they're saying they have evidence now. So that's a bit different. And they're taking this to the UN. And it's crazy because, the UN is supposed to be this global order. And Russia's saying, hey, look, they did this, and we've got proof. Like, you just going to ignore it or what? They have proof that explosives had been planted during a NATO exercise in June of 2022. And this is nuts because this ties NATO in directly. That's exactly what they're saying. And I'm telling you, some people are overlooking this. This is big. They say all the evidence exists as to whether to publish it or not. Depends on how this investigation unfolds. I mean, they could not want to publish it because multiple reasons. Say, for instance, they had some kind of underground crazy, like a UFO that we know can fly and go into the water. They were using that kind of tech and had cameras. And they were watching and tracking and doing all these things. But if they showed you that footage, you would instantly know that, or if you were smart enough, you would know that this thing would be moving at like way faster than anything could ever move underwater. And filming and all this other stuff, like what is filming this? You would start to ask yourself. And it would reveal things. It would reveal that they have that kind of technology. They may not want that out the bag. So we all know these governments pretty much share all the high technology. So this is all really a puppet show, is it not? Is it not? It is. And they slaughter innocent people. Innocent people die every day in the midst of it. All right, here's one for you real quick in terms of, we keep seeing the oil tankers go down. Well, one catches fire off the coast of Germany in the Baltic Sea. Not sure what's caused this yet, but getting into the war front here with Israel, they're saying the single deadliest attack, that's hard to believe, on the war against Lebanon hits central Beirut, but the commander escapes. So they try to go in and do this decapitation strike to assassinate a senior Hezbollah member, Wafik Safa. They apparently missed. He got out of there, and they killed 22 people. So, here's the thing. If they want somebody, they're going to kill them, and it doesn't matter. And what they turn around and say and tell everybody is, nah, these terrorists are hiding amongst civilians. And it's like, hold on. Like, this is all garbage. Like, no, they're at home or living in an apartment building where a bunch of other people live, and you just bomb it. Like, there's no rules. And like, they're going to abide by your stupid rules anyway. They're going to live and go where they need to go on a basis how they live. And see, our government and the Mossad in the West, they will target them, and it doesn't matter where they're at. Does not matter. If they see the opportunity, they will strike it just like this, and they don't care no more. Maybe they did back in the day. Maybe there's a point where they were like, they tried to sweep it under the rug. They didn't want to see the world to see them killing civilians like this, but they don't care now, let me tell you. If you ain't noticed, like, Israel's popped up like a monster and just started going at it. Like, they stormed all the way down to Egypt, to slaughtering everything in Gaza, and stopped, turned north. They've announced a 7-front war. Okay, and they've only opened up 4. This means there's several more that they're looking to open up. I truly believe with Russia and this whole World War thing is about to pop. We are there. There's no dialing this back. There's no turning back. They've gone after Gaza, okay, Palestine, that area. They turn around, went into Lebanon, now in Beirut, Hezbollah. They're dropping bombs constantly in Syria, okay? They won Iran, we know. That's on the list, okay? They just started bombing Russian assets in a port in Syria. That's, if you bring Russia into this is major. I've warned you about it. There's prophecy of Russia occupying. Thank you, Michael. Occupying the promised lands. To protect them. And the only thing that we think of is that, exactly what it says. There's got to be some crazy war situation going down to make this come about. And there's a lot of Christians in Russia. So they wouldn't want to see their country going and flatten with their holy land. So as I see it, Russia would do strategic strikes. They would participate in decapitation type strikes on the Mossad, on Netanyahu. And all the goons, you see. And they've got so much might, military force and might, that, I mean, them with China and Iran, everyone combined, I don't see how you're going to stop it. But the world's a stage. Everyone thought that the Germans were about to storm up into Russia and topple Moscow and everything in World War II. Literally. They were right there, coming up through the fields. They could see Moscow. They were that close. And the whole world changed because of Pearl Harbor and the nukes being dropped on Japan and everything else. It changed the whole face of the war. And it caused the United States and Russia to become allies out of nowhere. And it saved the day. It ended the war. This world is a stage, man. When you know your history and you see it and you read it and you're like, what? That what? Like what? Like, yeah. And then they went back into the corners and acted like they weren't friends. They had to be enemies. Because you could never do what they've done, wage these major wars, without having two opposite sides. East Coast, West Coast beef, basically. You have to have enemies set up. And they are too big of a powerhouse to be together as it sat back then, out of the Cold War and everything, to ever for this to work. Do you see? They had to be separate. They had to go to the corners, and it's crazy because we're both Christian, majority Christian countries that fly the red, white, and blue. And they've got us pitted as enemies here walking into World War III. And it's just nuts. So, the UN says that 900,000 Lebanese were displaced by the war. A quarter of the country now under Israeli evacuation orders. The UN saying that you're messing up to Israel. Saying you're targeting civilians, and Israel's trying to bark back saying, no, we're not. And the UN saying, like, there's rules to war. Okay, so get to this next. UN accuses Israel of firing on peacekeeping force in Lebanon, wounding 2. So they're basically saying you're not abiding to the rules of war here, and we know they're not. We know everything that's going on here. They say that they don't have nukes and this and that. Blah blah blah. Israel struck the base that sits up at the top of Mount Hermon. Do you understand how? And I just seen Hermon. That is the weird. That's some weird synchronicities there. If you don't know, on the top of Mount Hermon, there's a scar on the earth. It's a crazy mark. And there is a UN base. And this UN base occupies this territory because otherwise it's war torn. And they try to, make it like a national park type deal, or it's protected. Why would that be? What is so special about this one spot at the top of Mount Hermon? Anybody know? Anybody read the book? Good book. They landed on Mount Hermon. The fallen. This is where they landed, man. This is where they touched down. Right here. Top of Mount Hermon, man. Yeah, right there. You don't think that's not... Dude, that's a site to go investigate right there. But would you ever get near it? Hell no. The UN is occupying it. So what does Israel do? Strikes the base or starts launching rockets up next to it. Like, look, dude. You've deliberately fired on our positions. This is nuts. This is how brazen Israel's getting. I want you to see where this is at on the world stage. Israel is brazenly shooting at the UN in their positions. Like, nobody does that. And they're doing it. With their black magic. Okay? Very interesting. They're also bombing Damascus out of nowhere again. And if they turn this thing up full scale, remember, the day Damascus falls is a day out of your Bible. You will literally be living out of a day out of your Bible. That page. You'll know where you're at in history. These are those times, I'm telling you. Israel struck and gone to war with a lot of these places in the past. Never. Hold on a second. Had to check something. Had a deer creeping up on me. This is just interesting to me. I don't know what it all means to you, but when you tell me that the fallen landed right here, just you telling us this, I think that this goes over the head of so many people who are they're numb to it. They're telling you these things landed here. It was never kept a secret. It's in the book. It's in your book. It's in the Bible. They came into the women of this planet and they bore the Nephilim. That is how it is written. This should be pretty sacred ground then. Don't you think, to them? Oh yeah, when they're worshiping. This is at 33.33 degrees. Oh, you can't make it up. Yeah. Talk about a hot spot that you never be able to go on a safari to see or even go on a vacation or even get close to. Just like the UN and the powers that be took control, financially took control of the sites of Göbekli Tepe. And they just rushed to put these big, huge coverings over the top. And they're like, hold on, why? Why? What are you doing here? They destroyed part of the site to put poles into the ground, rushing to do this. And they're saying they're trying to cover it up so people can't see what really is there from space, from satellite imagery, which would not surprise me. But Göbekli Tepe is the oldest spiritual temple ever discovered on the planet, going back some 12,000 years. Takes it right back to the time frame of the Younger Dryas, when all the events unfolded there. Mud flood or flood, as you want to call it, huge events took place in that time frame. Michael, much love. Yeah, I'd love to be able to bring people together in the flesh more. Maybe next year in 2025, this place ain't fell apart. Checking out a couple things here real quick. Yeah, if they make this move and they strike these oil positions, expect gas to go through the roof. Let me say this also. The election's almost over. Okay? As soon as this election is over, like, all hell can begin. Like, it can begin when they say Kamala is your president. The markets will dump, whatever. As soon as they strike these oil reserves, gas is going to go through the roof. I don't know if the current administration wants to do that right now. It's almost like they're stalling this out because it's going to look bad on them. You know? You see, I mean, it's already looking bad enough for them. Does that even matter? Does it even matter when, again, they gave you Biden last time and you had to deal with it for 4 years? Or are the people just going to take Kamala as the question? Or will they give you your Trump? Iran issues a secret warning. See, they keep painting this picture of Iran. And they keep... Why would they bother priming all this stuff is what I'm saying here. Why would they bother doing these assassination attempts and then pointing all this finger at Iran now with Trump if he's not going to be the president? Why is Trump this whole time, even himself, telegraphed that he's going to be? Because he's always wore this stuff saying 45 and 47. 45, and he's even been on video saying it adamantly. And someone's like, 45 out here at the golf course, and he's like, hey, 47. And it's like, oh, okay. He said pretty strongly, adamantly. So, I watched those things. And thank you for those coffees there. Appreciate it. And thank you for the comment. Much love. God bless. Much love, Bullion Advocate. I like the name. Thank you for sharing the stream. Get your gold. Get your silver. Biden-Harris administration going after landlords that they say are using criminal background checks to screen renters, and this is stupid because they want to use background checks to see who people are, and they're finding out that they're illegals. They're getting pissed. They're accusing them of race discrimination, and this is garbage. This is just as bad as Barack Obama saying that illegal migrants can vote. On film. The illegal, anything can happen is nuts. That they have the right to vote as a citizen, but they're not a citizen. Interesting, Steve. So, in the meantime, this is where it really sits. America's homeless population reaches a record high under this administration. So at this current time, there are more people homeless than ever before. Right now, live, there's more people in this country suffering than ever in history. If anybody cares. Swallow that pill. It's sad. Destruction of this country. And it's all by design. And you know it as they keep bringing these illegals in. These illegals. Look at this. The small rural Indiana city town overwhelmed by thousands of Haitian illegal migrants. Not legal. Illegal. Huge difference. This is straining the hospital. This is overwhelming the jail system. All these huge things that are happening. Amen. Thank you, Deanne. Much love. God bless. Thank you for the kind words and the coffees. This shows you that this by design is overloading everything. If you can just stop and take a look at it for a second, this is what's happening in all these little cities. This is why Trinidad, Aragua, and all this other crap, it's gotten out of hand. It's Venezuelan, it's Cuban, Haitian. They're being used. They're being used and dumped in these areas on purpose. And it's, again, straining the hospitals, jail systems, record birth rates, and ER visits. 20 to 25 people in each house. Like crazy. And it's done strategically. They pick a town that doesn't have, hundreds of thousands of people, even really tens of thousands of people, only 18,000 people. And they send thousands of illegals in there. That's going to do damage real quick, man. And it has. This is what they're doing. The enemy is doing this right now. They're using these people. And what's sad is on the other side of the coin, who knows what all these people are being told? Oh, you're going into the land of the free. You're just going to go here and do this. So these people are just being led by the nose and used. They're going to get left high and dry in the end. And just done in. Okay, so. P. Diddy. Let's jump in here real quick and get an update. And this will be the last thing before I shut it down. And thank you again, Michael. So P. Diddy's lawyers are just basically saying, look, there's about to be a bunch. Like this is about to go down. There's about to be a bunch of people come out in this. No doubt about it. And we've gone down a lot of these rabbit holes and talked about a lot of it. A lot of these people. But, politicians, princes, they're now saying that not only do the feds, or are the feds admitting that they've got tapes, but they've got tapes from all kinds of different angles. So not only do they have a lot of these people doing criminal acts, but they got them from, like, crazy angles. Like, where he had every room rigged. Like, the craziest stuff, man. But this is where it gets wild. And you can see it's set up. Andre Damian Williams Jr. He is the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. And wouldn't you know, he had the Epstein case. He was appointed the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York in December of 2018. He became the point man for the Epstein cover-up. Yep, he was slated to oversee the trial of Epstein. But Epstein became preoccupied with his death, And then Williams went on to oversee Ghislaine Maxwell and her trial, of which we've not seen any of the people she's been charged with sending these minors to. And again, this is all dealing with sex. Not a word about the murders. When it comes to Epstein and them, they just left it there. That could all get swept under the rug now. Now to think about it, that's exactly. This is going to overshadow it. And it's going to take out low levels for them. Hollywood actors are low levels to the establishment. P. Diddy, low levels. They're not the rich and powerful. They're not the banksters. They're not even the bloodlines. So these are expendables. They are people that can be thrown under the bus. They can have their card pulled. And that's exactly what's happening to Diddy. Diddy was trained, groomed, to do exactly what Epstein did. Epstein did it in a little bit different fashion, but it all comes back to blackmailing tactics, Mossad style. Where you're doing all these sexual things and recording it. Even Suge Knight was doing it on his side over on the West Coast. This is done. This is done for power and control. Blackmail, all in all. The biggest question is with P. Diddy right now, is with all those bottles of oil, they weren't oil. They were laced with these hypnotic drugs that would knock people out and do all this other stuff. That's what it was. That's why they took them. Or else they would have, why would they have confiscated the bottles? Come on. They didn't go and find, all right, he has a big kitchen. He had 20 bottles of ketchup. They didn't confiscate all the ketchup and take pictures of all that. No. It's because there was more to it. There was drugs involved. And it's all becoming clear now. Almost all these people were drugged. So if people are drugged and passed out and getting raped, and they bring in minors or whoever, while these people are drugged and they're going in and out of it, and then they wake up and they freak out and they leave, like, are they, to what extent is someone guilty when they've been drugged and raped? All these people, that's what this all is. This is not orgy like 70s porno where they're all coming in, lining up, and they're doing their thing. No. And everyone's like coherent. These are like passed out bodies. This is like sick. This has got to be like, you walk in there and you see this. This is not like walking into like like them shooting a porn or anything like that. It's just not. This is like this would look more like them doing corpses. Sickening. Super, like, next level sickening. That's what it would be. These would be people that were lifeless, basically. Incapacitated. And they're just having their way with it, throwing them around, flip-flopping, doing whatever with them. And these people just can do nothing. This is some of the dirtiest, nastiest. I'm glad it's coming to light. Let all of it come to light here, but it'll stop at a certain point. It'll stop at, high-level music execs and all that. It'll never cross over into the family bloodlines. And don't get it twisted. Some of these greedy, evil people at the top will take out their own kind, throw them in jail, kill them. They'll do whatever. They're as nasty as it gets when it comes to like Mossad and their tactics. Come on. So P. Diddy was hooking IVs up to these people to keep them alive. Now, can you imagine this? You're not. Remember Cat Williams explaining that he was going to these parties back in the day, and he'd stop and he would see these people like in these rooms doing these things, and it just blew him away. Well, now you start to get a sense of what he was seeing. He wasn't just seeing like. And to me, a freak off gives it the illusion that it is some kind of freaky like porn thing where everyone's bawdy. But dude, this isn't like that. This isn't like a bunch of swingers meeting up and everybody doing their thing. Or, like, these people are like being knocked out and raped. It's criminal, man. It's demonic. It's evil. Lil Rod, one of the main guys getting this whole thing going, the main reason he's suing is because he woke up from being raped. This exact thing is what I'm telling you. He woke up from being raped and looked over, and P. Diddy looked at him and said, I just did this to you. Can you imagine? Can you imagine waking up at this party and seeing corpses? They're alive, but like just limp bodies sitting there getting raped by these demons. And then they look at you like, we just did this to you. Like, are you kidding me? Like, dude, this dude, listen, I've been screaming BBK every day, all day to the day I die against this dude. If there's someone that I've despised and hated just this whole since I was 16 years old in this game, it is Sean Puffy Combs, because I've held him responsible for the murders of Tupac and Biggie this whole damn time. And just when Pac exposed all of this before they got him, I seen it. I seen what he was pointing at. I seen the demons in the industry. I seen them. And then I seen who was going along with it, and who wasn't getting killed, who wasn't getting threatened, and who lived a lavish life the whole time doing all these demonic things. The same things that Pac warned about. Fruity ass Puffy. Well, his words rang true again. And, Diddy is so stupid. And listen, Gene Deal said this the other day, his bodyguard. He was there when Diddy got his name, Diddy. And he got it from Biggie. And Biggie got into an argument with Puffy because over Foxy Brown, a bunch of others' music. And Puffy came in there and was like, you've been writing their music? He's like, say it in front of me. Say it in front of me right now. Because if he would have said it in front of him, he could have sued him for all the stuff. So Biggie went, nah, Diddy, nah, Diddy, nah, Diddy, clowning him, and Diddy didn't even realize what he was referencing. He was calling him Diddy, referring to Diddy Kong off of Donkey Kong, like a little monkey, saying this to him. This is what Gene Deal said. He said he didn't even realize he's making fun of him and giving him this nickname. But of course, after the whole Biggie gets murdered and all this stuff and blah, 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 he tried to embrace it, but still didn't even realize that the whole reason he said it that day and gave it to him was making fun of him. And that's what Gene Deal sat there and witnessed. It's sickening. Look, I hope they all fry. It's 11/11. May the Most High in heaven come like a thief in the night and get them all. Thank you, Michael. That's right. And may the evil get called and get roasted. Just put it that way. All these demons. All right, it brings me to a close on the show. I again want to thank everyone out there for joining me for the streams, man. Going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you got anything you need to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. Look to be back Monday. I'll be dropping videos pretty much every day. Also dropping them over on Surviving in Times. Don't forget about that channel. That is the backup channel over here on YouTube. Used to be the old Dabu777. But yeah, just dropping information on the YouTube channels on a daily basis. Going live 3 times a week. And God willing, if he doesn't return here in the coming 7 days, or the coming few days, I'll see you next time for Underground World News Live. Much love and God bless to all y'all. Live home. Much love, Eon. God bless all. Thank you, Barbara, for the PayPal. Appreciate it. Much love, Handy.